All right, so we got a 200 and a 100 behind me. We're gonna talk about the differences between the two and which one's gonna work best for your guys' operation. We're also covering wear components and what to look for before hay season so that you guys can have the best year yet. Stick around, we'll talk about it. Okay, so on to the 100. The 100 has a noticeably shorter chute for stacking a bunch of bales in there. And it's also driven off of one photo eye. It's driven off of one motor, which is going to a clutch, which that clutch then comes up here and drives the horizontal chain. It's also tightened up there as well. So the 100 is driven off the bottom, and then the 200 over here is driven off the top. So you got two motors on the 200. You got a motor right there driving the horizontal chain, and then you got a motor up top that's driving the vertical chain. And what's handy about that is the 200 has a 3-position valve, which allows you to reverse that vertical chain. If you have a broken bale in there, you can go into your control center and go vertical chain down, which allows that bale to come down. And then the 200 has a noticeably bigger chute. It's also driven off of 3 photo eyes, A, B, and C, all linked together. So whether the bale's here or over here, it'll pick up that bale and bring it up and around. One thing about the 100s, they are fixed wear components, and what that means is you can't adjust them on the go. Once you replace them, they can last you a while, but you have to take in consideration when you're out baling and they're worn out and the strap guide arm isn't dead center in the banding box, and it has a lot of side to side play and it hangs up right there on that corner and breaks the strap. You're gonna be out there throwing a bunch of hay through the machine again because you have a lot of side to side play, whereas the 200 has adjustable wear components where you can adjust it on the go out in the field and keep going. That's one thing you guys will want to look at this year is your strap guide arm wear components are most important to check. Put that machine in bale position 1 and give the strap guide arm side to side play, or shake it side to side. And if it has a lot of play side to side, you guys will want to change that out. You guys can get those parts off of motionmav.com if you need that, along with the vertical plunger plastics. If you don't change out the vertical plunger plastics, this spur gear will fall forward, and it'll cause the spur gear to wear out really fast. And it'll also just to wear out the keyway and everything. So you guys want to make sure, one, your spur gear is the set screws are tight on it. It's tied up against that the track, and then also the vertical plunger is not going up like it's wanting to come up and fall apart, or go down and try to fall apart either. Another thing you want to check is your vertical swing. I got a really tight vertical swing. They have brass bushings in there, so you'll want to check to see if there's a lot of play on that. If there is, you can knock all those bushings out and replace them and get that back up and going. It's really critical when that bale comes and lands on that vertical swing that it's taking the brunt and not the strap guide arm. Because if the strap guide arms are taking a lot of the brunt, it's going to wear out those plastics a lot faster. That's why you want to rebuild the vertical swing. Not to mention that if you wait too long to rebuild the vertical swing, you'll be replacing more than the brass bushings. You'll be replacing the arms and everything. And also, if it has a lot of play, it'll fall out of that track. And I've gotten a lot of calls about that this last year. So check your strap get arms, check your sprockets, and yeah. So I'm gonna come over here and show you the 200, what I'm talking about on the 200. So on the vertical plunger, you have adjustable wear components. So it comes with the wrench for that. You just take those two clips out, you make your adjustment, and then you put your wrench back on, and it keeps it tight up against the rail, okay? And then the strap guide arm also has adjustments. So, you know, let's say that you were, you know, bailing along and you realize that they're becoming loose. You can make the adjustments on the go and keep going. Whereas like the 100, you can't do that. You got to take it to the shop, pull the vertical plunger out, and overhaul, you know, all the plastics and everything. So that's something to, you know, consider buying a 100 versus a 200. So this is a banding box for a Bale Band-it 100, okay? It looks pretty good, all right? You wanna make sure that everything is tight and dead center, okay? If it's not dead center, you're gonna be stamping off to one side or the other. Also, if it's not dead center, it's gonna throw the strap off, you know, to the right or to the left, and it's gonna mistie for you. You want to make sure that your full band cylinder comes out dead center. And then you also want to make sure that that strap gripper, you know, holds that strap during a tie cycle. You also want to make sure that your horizontal plunger is set correctly so that the red handle is holding the strap for most of that, not the strap gripper. Another thing with the 100s is the fetchers are held in by V-groove rollers, and they're on bearings. And so what tends to happen is the fetchers will go forward, someone will see something, and then they'll turn the hydraulics off, and then everything will relax, and then they'll turn the hydraulics back on, and then the strap guide arms will come up and run into the fetchers and knock it off the track. If that does happen, or it could be that this weldment right here is, you know, it doesn't have enough weld on it or like stub on it to open up the neural grip, or it has too much and this cylinder goes too far forward, and then it, you know, it bends it or pops it off the track. There's so many things that could allow it to come off the track. Does it happen all the time? To some customers, yeah. To other customers, no. I have some customers that have had, you know, the 100 for, you know, over 15, 20 years, and they've never had it fall off the track. But, you know, that's something to consider, you know, with the 100. To put it back on, you can take this bolt out, take these screws, you know, these screws out right here, take that roll pin off, knock it off the big cylinder, and then, you know, you squeeze the track and you pop the fetcher back on. As long as it didn't, you know, break a roller, you guys can be up and going in, you know, a few minutes. But yeah, you want to keep those rollers on, you know, you want to keep those rollers in stock because it does happen. So this is a 200 banding box, okay? It's so it's got dovetail rails for the fetchers, and they're super nice. You'll never have the fetchers fall off the track. You got dovetail fetcher swings, super nice, makes everything tight, okay? And that's something to, you know, consider. The 200s are just a lot less finicky. They're just a lot more user-friendly as far as like things just stay where they need to stay. And yeah, so You on the 200s, you do want to check your strap gripper right here. So making sure that holds the strap when the fetcher or when the banders come out to mid band for the fetchers to go forward. You want to check your full band. You want to check your your spring action. You want to check that like when it's in the middle. You want to get that out here, and you want to check that spring action because you may have spring action like that, but if it goes all the way back here, sometimes it sticks. And so you're like, why is it sticking when you thought you checked it? And it's because you need to get the full action. Also, a lot of you don't clean behind there. A lot of hay can build up back there, and it keeps it from the red handle being tight. So then you tighten the red handle, and then you over tighten it and you break stuff. So you want to make sure that underneath that track it's clean. Okay, so this is a Bale Band-it 200. This is one I have for sale. If you guys are interested in it, let me know and I can shoot you over some prices. This machine has like 17,000 bundles, and it looks very, very nice. It's a very nice machine. I'm almost wondering if the counter is wrong because it looks really clean. So if you guys have any questions, let me know and we'll get you taken care of. One thing I wanted to mention with the 200s, so this is a 2014 model. In 2017, they came out with the 21-inch push, and then in here on the frame, they like bent that down so that chaff would be able to fall down and they're a lot easier. Does it still catch in there on both machines? Yeah, especially if you're running these machines, you want to make sure that you have sweepers on there to keep that chaff clear right here. Or if you're just regularly blowing it off, it shouldn't be a problem. But another thing is these manifold locks. These manifold locks are really nice because the machines have a tendency to vibrate, and then those valves come loose and then blow an O-ring. If you have those manifold locks, it keeps those from vibrating loose and blowing the O-rings. So that's another thing to consider on the 200s as well. 200 dolly has the tongue attachment where you can put a tongue on it and move the machine around with the tongue, whereas the 100 doesn't. It's only necessary if you're like wanting to hook up a tractor to it to pull it around the barn yard, or you're taking it down the road. That is really, really handy because if you hook up the chute, or if you hook this up to the drawbar on the tractor, you don't have a good turning radius. So that's something to consider also. With the 200, you also have the pickup chute weldment. So if you want to add a pickup chute, you can, it has all the weldments for that as well. The tires are also a lot bigger than on the 200 than the 100.